want you to open up 12 and 13 questions so that we can go over those together. So I'll give you about like 20 seconds. Just minimize what you have open and open up 12 and 13, okay? You can't find the questions?
Yeah.
So we're just going to open those up. Give me a thumbs up when you have it open. All right. All right, you ready, Parker? So let's look at the first one. So describe Layla's treasure house. How does she get her treasure? So like, where do they come from? So let's do the first part of the question. So tell me what it looks like. Ilian. So what does the treasure house look like?
I can explain.
Were you raising your hand to tell me you had it open? Not to answer. It's okay. Go ahead, Giovanni.
Well, I remember some things.
Okay.
The stove and some of the mouse pit in it.
Yep.
Those clothes there. Some of them were from like the hammer that got blown up in the morning. And
What did the actual space look like? Was it an actual house?
No.
No, what was it?
It was like I know it was like messed up and stuff. The backyard had a pigeon that was stuck in the wire. And some apple trees with thorns in it.
Yep.
And
What?
it-
Good job. What else, Gracie?
It was 2 boards against a rock.
Yeah, so it wasn't an actual house. So picture this in your head. You want to visualize that. So it's literally like these rocks with boards leaning up against it. And there's soap in there. And then there's like some food that mice have gotten into. What else was in there? Do you want to go ahead, Parker?
There's some other random stuff.
Yeah, so it was like some good stuff. Is this stuff that Pravana could find in her travels really easily? No. So where did all this stuff come from? Giovanni kind of said it. So where did all this stuff come from?
The guy that was walking around in the minefield.
What is the vocab word?
The hammer?
Peddler. Peddler.
Yes.
Yes. So the peddler, just remember, what's a peddler?
A peddler is a man who walks from house to house delivering stuff to the doorstep.
And remember, we're picturing it's like a guy, he's like pulling this cart. And what happened to this peddler? He went out into the minefields, and what happened?
He got blown up in the mine.
He got blown up, and so what happened to all his stuff?
They got scattered away.
Right, and then what did Layla do? That was kind of crazy, Gavin.
She scavenged around to get all the stuff, which is insane.
Why is it insane?
It's a
Because
minefield.
you could die.
Because it's a what?
It was a minefield.
Because it's a minefield, so she literally ran out into this minefield to like collect all these things. Very
She
good.
wasn't even thinking about it. She could possibly have done it too.
I think Layla's a little crazy.
She is a little eccentric.
Even Asif said
I
it.
think she's a bit screw loose.
Even Asif said she was crazy.
That is true.
All right, so number 2. So why is Layla convinced that she cannot get hurt from the minefield? So remember, this is the reason that she like runs out and gathers all these things and thinks it's totally fine.
Because she thinks the ground likes her.
From doing what?
Feeding it, whatever.
Yeah, because she gives it what? So when she eats, she like buries crumbs and thinks that
It will protect her.
it's gonna protect her somehow. Is that true?
No.
Is it a little kooky?
Yes.
Yes.
She thinks she'll be inevitable, but she's not really inevitable.
She thinks she's Thanos.
She thinks she's like invincible. I think that's invincible. All right, number 3. What does Piranha notice about the sores on Layla's face? How do she and Asif fix the issue? How can it be prevented from happening? So first part, what does she notice? It's like super gross.
Ugh.
Gracie.
So on Lila's face, Pravana saw like these there was like this big scar on her forehead.
Yeah.
And like tiny white worms were in it.
Ew. So there's worms in her forehead, which is gross.
Basically maggots is what they are.
Right, so there's maggots in. So like kind of picture her hair like over her forehead, and when she moves it out of the way, Purvana sees little bugs in her forehead. So how does Purvana and Asif fix this issue? So what do they do, Zaid? What do they do to get rid of the bugs?
I know. Try to pull it away.
They pull all the bugs out, and then they do what?
They like wash it.
Yeah, they wash her forehead up, and they use some warm water, they use soap. And how do they tell her? Like, they tell Layla, like, you gotta do X, Y, and Z so this doesn't happen again. Giovanni.
I know it was acid we told about. He had to be more clean. And he just said, keep your forehead clean. And then he's like, oh yeah, you should keep your whole body clean as well.
Yeah, so they're like, really like, because remember, they said, like, didn't you feel these bugs? And she's like, oh, yeah, sometimes. And I try to, like,
I try to
brush them away.
And then she said that it was the flies that
Like,
extra in her hair.
Yeah, that's
No,
totally
I think
disgusting.
And then they hatch and then they lay baby eggs.
Gross.
It's disgusting.
All right, last question. What happened to Asif's parents? Where did he have to go live? Gavin.
His parents were killed by like bombs, and then he had to live with his abusive uncle who beat him.
Yeah, so his parents died, and he had to go live with his uncle. Yes.
There's more questions that were before.
Oh, I'll scroll down more. So he had to go live with his uncle. Did his uncle treat him very nicely? No. What could this have been connected to? Remember, like, her thinking back.
The scars in his back.
The scars on his back. So now, for like making this connection, where do we probably think those scars are from?
From the
His
uncle
uncle.
beating him.
Which is really terrible, right?
Which is abusive.
Yes. All right, number 5. What disaster almost happens shortly after Hussein learns to stand? What idea does Asif come up with to prevent this from happening? Parker.
So once Zane learns how to stand,
And
kind of wallace his way over to the minefield.
yeah, so Hussein, so first part, he learns how to walk, he learns how to stand and walk, and then almost makes his way to the minefield, which could be bad. Why?
Because he didn't feed the ground.
Because what's in the minefield?
Mom.
That will,
Kill you.
it can explode, right, when you step on them? So what is the plan they come up with, Parker?
So the plan they come up with is getting the rope and tying it to his waist.
So they like tie a rope around his waist. So are you picturing this?
Yeah, like a dog. It's like a leash.
It's kind of like a leash.
On his waist.
But is it, okay, so it doesn't like, when you say it like that, it doesn't sound very nice. But like, remember, they're kids.
And they have no
They're your age.
intention.
So like, is it a good use of what they have to keep him safe?
Yes.
Yeah, I think so, don't you?
Yeah, but or maybe if the grandmother could have watched him.
But what is grandmother doing?
Nothing.
Yeah, but is she even getting up?
Well, sometimes.
No.
Because she comes out.
But not just yet, right? So in these chapters, she hasn't gotten up just yet, right? So it's just the kids. All right. Describe what Asif, Purvana, and Layla do to fix up the home. So like, remember, there was like carcasses and bugs and pigeons and like lots of stuff going on. So what do they do to make it better? Giovanni.
They bury the carcasses, then the flies can't go there, and they also fix the backyard.
So what do they do to fix the backyard?
Okay, so they basically first they're bringing up the carcasses, then the flies can go away, and then they're fixing the backyard, which I didn't turn over the dirt.
Yeah. So they bury all those carcasses. They clean up the trash. What else do they do?
They also like dig up a bathroom So, and because since Layla went to the bathroom outside and not in like a small hole.
Right. Because why doesn't she just like go in the bathroom in the house?
Because there's no bathroom.
Right, because there's no indoor what?
Indoor,
So, right, there's no indoor plumbing. So, like, there's nowhere to turn on the faucet and, like, water just comes out. So, there's no bathroom in their house. What was the new vocab word that we used to talk about this?
I forget.
Starts with an L. Latrine. Very good, yes. So, they dig the latrine. What else did they do, Zoe?
They planted new things in the garden.
Yeah, so remember, Layla kind of had this makeshift garden going. They plant more things. Why is this all like really, really good for them?
Because they can get food, they have enough supplies.
Yeah, and because remember, they're kind of in this like sheltered area. No one's coming because they're not crazy enough to walk across the minefield.
Yeah.
They can grow food. They have the pigeons to eat. So they're kind of setting up like a nice, is this a lot nicer than traveling and living in caves?
Yes.
Yeah. All right. Let's take a peek at the text evidence. Let me switch my screen over.
That's evidence.
So the text evidence for this section. So just give me a thumbs up when you have it open on your screen. If you need help, just let me know. You okay, Zaid? Gavin and Giovanni?
Yeah, okay.
Okay. So the first one, so our detail is Layla has trouble taking care of herself. So raise your hand, tell me what page, and then the evidence that you found. Ilion.
105. How do you know to read all this Layla asked after every new thing they do?
Very good. So she even said, like, how do you even know how to do this stuff? And what's the stuff they're doing? Like washing her face, burying the carcasses. So she doesn't even know.
How to do all that stuff because
Yes, very good. That was a very good one. What'd you do, Giovanni?
I said, she's not really, but he's kind of warm only because, like, the grandmother's not really there, but she's still there, but not, like, she's just sitting there, she's not really doing anything. She's basically like a statue, basically.
Yeah. So did you find a specific line on a specific page? No. Okay. Zoe, do you want to share one? What page?
130.
Okay.
Can't keep her body clean and nice.
What'd you say?
Can't keep her body clean and nice.
Right, because on 103 it talks about that's when they find like the worms in her head. All right, very good. All right, the second one. Asif has had a very difficult life. So remember, it doesn't say those words in the book, but there's other words that are telling us these things. So what piece of text evidence, Gracie, did you use?
so the page number I did was 106.
Okay.
And Layla tells Parvana that Asif's parents died and some other family members, so he had to live with a very mean uncle.
Right, so it says, Asif's mother is dead, Layla said. So is his father, so is everyone else. He told me he was living with an uncle who beat him, so he ran away. Does that use the words, he had a really difficult life?
No.
It doesn't say these words.
It shows it though.
It shows it though, yes. All right, does anyone have a different one? Do you have a different one for that? Page?
No, I have.
Oh, you had this. That is kind of the fact that we find out that like his parents died, he was living with his uncle. That kind of shows us, right?
Yeah.
Yes. What are you wondering?
Asif will tell Layla that how his parents died.
I guess that's true because we also don't know what else about Asif.
We only know that he was being with his uncle. That's why he had,
What else don't we know though?
Oh, his leg.
Yeah, like how did he lose one of his legs? We still don't know that. So like,
I have a prediction.
It
okay,
could-
what's your prediction?